Wireless networks are everywhere, a constant, invisible hum in the background of our lives. In most neighborhoods, dozens of signals overlap from nearby homes, public hotspots, devices just passing by. We rarely even think about them. We connect, disconnect, and move on. It's this everyday normalcy that makes the following story so deeply unsettling. The man in this account lived in a small, quiet apartment complex near a busy road. By night, the building settled into silence, the distant traffic fading into white noise as most residents slept. One evening, he was working late on his laptop when his internet connection suddenly dropped. This wasn't unusual. His provider had occasional outages. He opened the Wi-Fi menu on his screen, ready to reconnect to his home network. But that's when he saw it. A new network he'd never seen before. It had a full, strong signal, and there was no password lock on it. The name was simple, just 2 words that sent a small shiver down his spine. Still awake, he stared at the screen, his mind racing. Network names can be anything, right? Jokes, pop culture references, someone nearby just trying to be clever. It was probably a neighbor who'd renamed their router. That was the logical explanation. And yet, he didn't connect. A few minutes later, his own network came back online. He shut his laptop, trying to shake off the weird feeling, and went to bed. The next night, it happened again. Same time, just after midnight. His internet went out, and there it was. Still awake. Same full signal strength, same open connection. He checked the time, 12:17 a.m. He let his mouse cursor hover over the network name for a moment, then deliberately closed the menu without clicking. A little thrill of fear and defiance ran through him. The following night, the game changed. The network name was different. Lights are on. The message felt less like a playful question and more like a statement of fact. His heart started to pound. He stood up and looked around his apartment. The living room light was on, just as he'd left it. The hallway light was off. Everything else was dark. He grabbed his phone and checked the Wi-Fi list. The same network, lights are on, was right there. He quickly searched online for any public hotspots in his area, but none of the names matched. He even ran a basic network scan, and the results were even more disturbing. The signal strength indicated the router was extremely closer than any of his neighbors' apartments. The signal was so strong, it suggested the source was inside his own home. But that was impossible. He only owned one router. This is where the story slides from strange to terrifying. We can try to explain it away. It was a misconfigured device, a mobile hotspot left on by accident, or a temporary router installed by a utility company. Signal strength can be misleading, distorted by walls and interference. All of this is technically plausible, but the pattern, the chilling consistency, continued. Every single night, just after midnight, the network would appear, and every night, the name would be different, each one more personal than the last. You can sleep now. Door is locked. No one else is here. The messages were never overtly threatening. In a strange way, they were almost reassuring, and somehow that made it all so much worse. It felt like something was trying to soothe him, to lull him into a false sense of security. One night, the burning curiosity became too much to bear. He had to know. With a shaky hand, he clicked on the network. It connected instantly. No password prompt, no security warning. His web browser opened automatically to a completely blank page. He held his breath, staring at the white screen. Then slowly text began to appear, typed out character by character. You shouldn't stay up this late. He slammed his laptop shut, his heart hammering against his ribs. He yanked the power cord from the wall and disconnected immediately. The moment he did, the mysterious network vanished from the list. The next night, it was back. The name this time felt like a taunt. Didn't like that. In a panic, he unplugged his own router completely, cutting off his only connection to the outside world. It made no difference. The network was still there. Same full signal, same unnerving proximity. He called his internet service provider, his voice tight with anxiety. They ran a full diagnostic. They found no unknown devices, no abnormal activity. Nothing on their end that could explain it. Everything looked perfectly normal. The next day, he tried a different approach. He casually knocked on his neighbor's door and asked if they'd ever seen any weird Wi-Fi names pop up. The neighbor just laughed and complained about how their own internet barely worked. No one had seen it. No one claimed the network. It was just for him. That night, the name changed again. It's quieter when you don't connect. The message was clear. It preferred when he didn't fight back, when he didn't try to understand. So he stopped. He stopped turning on his laptop at night. He started going to bed earlier, trying to pretend the whole thing wasn't happening. Weeks passed. He knew the network was still appearing. He could feel its presence, but he refused to look. He forced himself not to check. But sometimes he'd wake up in the dead of night for no reason, and his phone screen would be lit up, the Wi-Fi menu already open, the Phantom network highlighted as if waiting for him. Then he got a call for a work project that required him to move out of his apartment unexpectedly. He packed his things and went to stay with a friend across town, miles away from his building. He felt a wave of relief wash over him. He was finally free. That night, lying in a strange bed in a strange room, old habits kicked in. Just after midnight, he picked up his phone. He told himself he wouldn't, but he had to look. He opened the Wi-Fi settings, and his blood ran cold. It was there, full signal, still awake. That shouldn't have been possible. It defied every law of physics. A Wi-Fi signal does not travel across an entire city. This is a simple technological fact. Overwhelmed with a terror he couldn't explain, he powered his phone completely off. When he turned it back on the next morning, the network was gone, and it never appeared again. Years have passed. He never went back to that apartment, but the fear has never truly left him. Sometimes late at night, when his internet connection flickers and drops for just a second, he feels that old, familiar dread. He hesitates before opening the Wi-Fi menu, his hand trembling slightly. Because the most unsettling part of the whole experience wasn't the messages or the impossible signal. It was the slow, dawning realization that the network wasn't a tool waiting to be used. It was an entity checking in night after night just to see if he was still there. Thanks for watching. If you have a story that defies explanation, share it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange tales. Sleep well.